What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Growing Up Hip Hop, Season 6, Episode 23, and the episode was titled Parental Advisory. You guys, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a solid favor and hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, like the video, share the video, and with that out the way, you guys, let's discuss Growing Up Hip Hop, shall we? Alright guys, so this episode review might not be long. This episode didn't give a whole lot. So we'll get through it. So we see Cree. So Cree is out there in Miami and she is meeting up with Luke, right? And she's, telling Luke what happened at the party with Sequoia, right? And I still have the same stance that I had last week with Cree and this whole situation with Sequoia. So Cree is, detailing the story, right? So like I said last week, I knew the reason that Cree, because when you looked at Cree last week, you could see that Cree started crying when Sequoia said that she doesn't, you don't have a kid, so you don't understand what I'm going through, what I feel right now, right? I knew that she was triggered by that because of, her fertility issues, right? But the thing is, Sequoia don't know nothing about your fertility issues, so I don't know why Cree in that moment decided that she wanted to take her issues out on Sequoia. Sequoia didn't know that that was a trigger for you, so you could have easily diffused that situation, right? You are the one that made it go where it went, right? You could have said to Sequoia like, "Hey, like, you said to her that she brought her son into this when she brought that storyline up about Angela dating her child's father, right? But when she said that you're not a mother, you could have said, well, Sequoia, I have my issues with fertility, so don't speak on that. I have my issues with fertility. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I have my fertility issues. So you're kind of striking a nerve right now. And I'm pretty sure if she had said that, because Sequoia said to her, I don't have an issue with you, Korea, and I don't want an issue with you. So I'm pretty sure if you had said something to her in that moment, she would have been like, okay, cool. It ain't nothing. It wouldn't have gotten to the point where it got to, right? So now Cree says that she needs to have a conversation with Sequoia, which 100% you need to have a conversation with that girl and you owe her an apology because you went from 0 to literally 10 for no reason. So then we see Sequoia. So Sequoia is in the studio and Brianna stops by, right? So Brianna is just trying to figure out, like, so what happened at Twist Party? Like, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp in your face. Because she was like, I was over there and I was doing my painting and then the shit got started, right? She was like, yeah, the Gross sisters had an issue with me. I was like, not the Gross sisters, right? From Proud Family, right? So Sequoia's thing is that, she feels that Savannah was being messy by going back and relaying the information about, her and Angela. I don't agree with that. I gotta be honest. I don't think that she was being messy. Now, you guys might think that Savannah was being messy, but I don't necessarily think she was being messy. I think, if you telling me that you got an issue with somebody that I'm in proximity to, I'm gonna be like, well, and you not saying anything to this person, so you have a one-sided beef with the person, and then you're talking about if she's at a showcase, you don't know how that's gonna be. My thing with Sequoia is why even mention that in the first place, right? Because even in this episode, she kept saying she ain't got no issues with Angela. That was 10 years ago. Then if it was 10 years ago, why did you bring it up? That's the only question that I have when it comes to Sequoia. 10 years ago, you said this was 2011 when it happened. So it was 10 years ago. Why are you talking about it? If Angela had moved on, Angela had been since moved on since from that man. Angela went on and had a baby with another man. So why did you bring it up? Didn't make sense to me, right? But Sequoia says that she wants to sit down at some point and she wants to apologize to Tanise because with that one she did, overreact to a compliment that Tanise was paying, right? So Brianna tells her, well, I'm doing this thing where I'm gonna have, TT. Have you met TT? She says no. She's okay. Well, I'm doing this thing. I'm gonna have TT and Vanessa there, right? And she's like, Vanessa. She's like, oh shit, I didn't think about that, right? But calm down. So we're gonna move forward, you guys. Next up, we see Sam. So Sam is at the boxing gym, and thank God Sam did not have on that Speedo, that thong, whatever it was, right? So Lil Easy comes down and they're talking to him, right? And in this scene, I like that Lil Easy was just breaking it down to Sam, like, you got to be mindful of what you do. Like, you don't want to be sitting behind jail behind some dumb shit, basically, right? And the shit with Sam is really dumb. So Sam is telling what happened, right? Which the story is different. The story is different from what he said, from what Egypt said, and from what Tyran said. So I don't know what the truth is with this story. And I honest to God don't really care, to be quite honest with you guys. But so Sam's saying that him and his friends were out. I guess these security guards knew who Sam was. So I'm guessing Sam is trying to say that these security guards must watch the show, and that the security guards started hurling insults at him, derogatory insults at him about his sexuality, whatever that is. And they had guns on them. Now, when you said that the security guards had guns on them, that would have been a point for me to be like, you know what? I'm not even finna, I'm not gonna engage with these people. Like, I'm not gonna try to fight nobody because they have what? Guns on them. Anything can happen. Like, somebody could pull out a gun and just start popping, and random people could get hit, right? So you not only put yourself in danger, you put other people in danger. So Sam just needs to use his brain. So Sam, like I said, you need to make better decisions. So Sam is facing between 10 to 15 years in prison behind this stuff, and I'm like, really, Sam? So was it worth it? Like, was it worth it that you might be facing up to 15 years behind bars? You have kids, like, that's what and that goes back to what I was just saying a minute ago. You put other people at jeopardy, and then when you go into jail and you having these charges, did you not think about the people who are in your lives that will be affected by this? Forget Egypt, your kids. Your kids will be affected by this if you are behind jail, if you're behind bars for any length of time. I mean, a year away from your family is a year too long behind something senseless, something stupid, and something idiotic, right? But, like I said, I hope for Sam's sake that Sam has learned a lesson. I hope so. So then we move over. So Brianna, you guys remember I just told you guys that she was doing, so she's introducing she's introducing TT and Vanessa to essential oils, right? So she brings them together. So they start talking, and they talk about, Sequoia. So none of the ladies but Brianna have met Sequoia. And Brianna is talking about that she likes Sequoia, right? And Vanessa's like, but she says she has an issue with my family, and then she got into it with Denise. And Brianna's like, Brianna told them that she was there. She's like, oh, she's here. So Brianna goes and gets Sequoia, and Sequoia comes in, and at first it was awkward between between Vanessa and Sequoia, right? So they broke the ice. She said, I know you probably feel away, and just put it all on the table how you feel, right? So she says, yeah, I heard that you had issues with my family, right? You have an issue with my sister, and then you got into it with my sister-in-law, right? So she says, I don't have an issue with Angela. So what the situation was Angela dated my child's father in 2011. And when, I talked to Savannah, I just told her I didn't know how the energy would be. But like I said a few minutes ago, 10 years, it's not like Angela and that guy just dated yesterday, and it's not like you and that guy are together. So I just still don't understand why that had to be a storyline, and it had to be the way that we were introduced to her. But, she says, so yeah, I don't have an issue with Angela, and I'm pretty cool with sitting down with Angela if Angela ever wants to sit down with me. Well, girl, I don't think Angela is ever gonna sit down with you, but good luck with that one, right? And then they talk about the Denise and Sequoia situation, right? So Denise, she once again, says that she overreacted to the situation. It was a compliment, and she just overreacted to it. And then she says that I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Denise. And then she does say that with the Denise situation, she didn't know that Denise was pregnant, but I don't think. There were very few people who knew that Denise was pregnant. Denise wanted to keep that to herself until she got out of her first trimester. So Yeah, so TT, Vanessa, and Sequoia, more specifically Vanessa and Sequoia, they were able to be like, you know what, whatever happened, it happened. We can move forward and we can be, kind of cool with each other, right? So we're gonna pause here, you guys, and we're gonna move forward as we're gonna start to wrap up this episode. So I said this review is not gonna be long, and it is not gonna be long at all. All right, guys. So we got this thing with TT and Sean, right? So TT and Sean got the invitations to the wedding. Don't care about that. So Tyran comes over because, TT's wedding is coming up, right? And they have their guest list. So with everyone that's coming to their wedding, everyone is fully vaccinated, right? So Tyran doesn't want to get the vaccine, and nothing's wrong with that. If Tyran doesn't want to get the vaccine, he doesn't want to get the vaccine. The one thing that I will say that I did not necessarily like, and it came from TT, was when TT was like, so you won't get the vaccine to come to my wedding? If the man has this stance that he doesn't want to get the vaccine, why do you think he's just going to say, oh, because my cousin is getting married, let me go in here to get this vaccine? No. Now, granted, I know that you guys have elderly family members that say that if he comes to the wedding and he's not vaccinated, they won't be in attendance, right? Or they don't want him to come, and they don't want him to come because he's not vaccinated. That's everyone's right and prerogative. And then when she said, another thing that she said that made me look at her like Sean did, when she said she just wanted, at one point, she just wanted to tell everybody that he was vaccinated. So you want to lie to people and possibly put people's health at risk? Why? Girl, no, don't do that. So then she says, so you're not going to get vaccinated? He says, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. So she says, okay, so what I think we might have to do is you might have to get tested before you come out, and then get tested, quarantine, get tested again, and then come to the wedding. That's a lot of goddamn testing. I was actually with Tyran on that situation, right? It's a lot. So they're going to figure that shit out. I don't care. So then we see Cree and Sequoia, right? So Cree and Sequoia met up to talk with each other, right? And this conversation, they literally could have had this conversation at that party. They were both level-headed and they were both hearing each other out, right? Cree did say that, she was wrong for what she did, right? But she was triggered. All you had to say at that party, like I said a few minutes ago, earlier in the video, all you had to say was, I have my fertility issues, so I don't have kids, but you don't know my story. And that's all you could have said, right? So Cree says she held herself accountable for what happened at the party. But then she says she's also heard that, Sequoia has gone around saying that, Cree and Savannah are jealous of her because she's pretty. Now, if she said that, I'm like, that's a nasty thing to say. But suffice it to say, they moved on, right? Again, that fight never had to happen. And even in this thing, Cree said to her, I didn't hear what Savannah said about your child, right? Well, if you didn't hear about what Savannah said about her child, why did you then go over there and defend her? And especially when that girl says she mentioned my child. When she said she mentioned her child, you should have said to her, instead of saying to her that she brought her son on this show as a storyline, you could have said, you know what, talking about the kids, that's unacceptable. That's not something that I agree with. Excuse me, y'all. That's not something that I agree with. And I'll have a conversation with her about it. You could have done that, but you didn't do it. You then defended your friend. So then this last scene, we see Sandy, Egypt, and Sam. I don't really give a fuck about this. He tells him about, things, he talked to his lawyer. He could be facing up to 15 years in prison because they're trying to give him 2 counts, right? I don't care. Egypt, all I gotta say to Egypt is, girl, you are stupid as fuck. Because she says she'll wait for Sam. Girl, why? Why would you wait for Sam? I do like the fact that Sam said to Sandy, don't let her wait for me. That is the one smart thing that he said. When she said that in her interview that she would wait for him, I'm like, why? Why would you waste your life? If he's in jail for 15 years or even 10 years or even 5 years, why waste your time? So you're gonna do a prison sentence with him, because it's technically what you're saying you're gonna do is a prison sentence with him. It is what it is, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your notifications on. Share the video, you guys. And until the next one, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.